Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Lunar Confessions. That's what this one's called, right? Lunar Confessions. Yeah. I can forget. We've got a couple episodes now. So yeah, we're here with the band Iamimperfect, all the way from the UK, Sheffield, I believe. So yeah, thank you, Paul and Kelly, for being here and putting up with the time zone difference. So yeah, I'm just gonna launch right into it. Introduce yourselves, and how did you both come together as a band? And I'm sorry, and I'll start with Paul. Let's go with Paul and then Kelly.
Like I am holding the pen. So I came with the band through setting up this group of people. There were a bunch of people in it, and I just put a list of names in there, and they're all like, you know how band names go. They're just, a bizarre company, like a company of like different jargon words that you just throw together. Really, I wanted to use like bandgenerator.com or .net just to like choose a band just to be over and done with. But I think a few people said Iamimperfect was a good name, and I went with that. And me and Kelly, we've known each other for quite some time. Kelly used to come to gigs I was playing or promoting, because I used to put on gigs in Sheffield. And he used to turn up with his camera and take lots of photos. And the photos were on his website called throwinghorns.org.
Yeah,
is that correct?
.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we stayed in touch, and like gigs and stuff. And I think there came a point when I was working on the music that I wanted some guitars in there, and I asked Kelly if he'd be willing to throw some stuff in there. And at the time there wasn't really any sort of like there wasn't really so much as like a band in a way. It was just all like permanent members. So like Kelly was asking me, what should I put on this bit and this bit, and I was just saying, do what you want and see what comes out. And that ended up being what the EP Reincarnate is. So that was like our first EP. That's pretty much how me and Kelly met, and now we are imperfect.
We are imperfect. Nice. Yeah, Kelly, give us a quick introduction. I mean, just yourself, who you are, and maybe how you got into music.
Yeah. I've played in a goth band in the UK for a while, but that kind of went quiet for going on 10 years or so, and in the interim I was doing photography and that sort of stuff, and met Paul through that. And Paul had another project going on which I'd heard about and listened to, and I quite liked that stuff. Oh, my cat's coming to say hello.
Oh,
go away, kitty.
Oh my gosh. What's your kitty's name?
This is Nelly.
Hello, Nelly.
She's a wriggler.
Oh.
So Paul had some other music going, and I took some photos for him for the front cover of one of his releases. And at some point along the lines, we were just chatting, and he was like, I'm doing a new thing, and started throwing them at me, and I just started breaking them with guitars, basically. It's sort of been a backwards and forwards thing of Paul creating stuff and me kind of breaking it with a guitar, and him taking what I've done and breaking that and giving it back to me and going, oh yeah, that actually sounds quite good. And and then we end up with the music that we've got.
Oh, that's great. Collaborative. Yeah.
All right, let's see. I think we already touched on number 2, right, Em?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, like, we didn't even ask about the band name specifically, but you did.
Yeah, so I guess we'll jump right on ahead. Who would you say are some of your stylistic and musical influences?
I'm really backed by bands like Solar Fake and Depeche Mode, The Birthday Massacre. I went to see them last year. They came to Sheffield Corporation, and that was like a really cool gig. So mostly those guys, like, they're my main 3 influences for the project. There might be a hint of Cell Dweller in there, but I'm kind of like just just a little teeny weeny amount. I think that's the perfection side of it where it comes into play, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All bands I love, so
Yeah, I know. I liked everything that you mentioned. Who are some early influences, I guess, because you're mentioning more like, modern. Well, I mean, not everybody, but not much mode, but like I guess who kind of got you into music production, I guess, and writing.
Oh man. So like in Sheffield, there was a studio called Steelworks, and I think it was Steelworks, and Steelworks Studio housed an engineer called James J. Wardner, who was a keys player, used to play in a band with Boy and the Dolphin, and he basically was one of my mentors in sort of studio production. But he was like taking a mentorship from a man named Eryk Kennedy in a way. I think he was like working underneath. I'm not entirely sure on that detail, so don't quote me on that. But Eryk Kennedy was the guy who worked a lot with like Gary Barlow and a lot of the pop bands in pretty much like the 90s. And they had like, I guess they had like a really acute kind of like recording style and like process on like how to approach things. Because when I was being taught recording and studio engineering and using like digital audio workstations, that person, James J. Wardner, he was like one of the first people to kind of like inspire me to kind of like pursue recording and mixing. I've been doing like recording and mixing since I was probably about 11 or 12 years old.
Okay.
My parents had like a Macintosh, like an old Macintosh, Power Mac, and that had like one of the first editions of Cubase on there. And I was just messing about with the software on there and like putting everything together. So like the early influences, I was brought up by like some good people when I left school, but also some people when I was in school. If I had to name drop some people, Paul Davison, Stuart Powell, James J. Wardner. Some of them are a mix of live sound engineers and studio engineers, but like they basically influenced me to kind of like have this sort of acute sense of like listening with my ears instead of my eyes, like getting to the nitty gritty of like recording and mixing music.
Oh wow, thank you. Yeah, I mean, anybody who's looking to get into music production, thank you for mentioning those names. Those, good people to look up, I think, for sure. So fast forward into today to now. So is there a message behind your new Ghosts EP? Some of the themes that ran throughout, I know it's only 5 tracks, but it felt, at least to me, really relatable. Just because, this is personal relationships and things like that. So maybe talk about some of the themes that run through it.
There were like, I guess each track is basically a ghost of the past in a way. They all represent kind of like a memory. Because Surviving is Not Living is based on I was working a job for somebody who was like underpaying me really badly, and I basically hit a point where I was getting offered work somewhere else for more money, because the person there actually respects my time and effort. And I ended up sort of leaving that job, and but the actual, where am I going with this?
I mean, I don't know, like lyrically, I suppose, like.
Yeah, I mean, like, so Surviving is Not Living is based on a moment that basically happened in my life where I was working a job, and I've worked a few jobs, and there's a lot of people that will do it for less money, that will get the job done but not as well. That's basically what that song is about. Somebody who's basically going to undercut you, and they don't care whether you win or lose, as long as like they get the part in a way. So like there were like many instances where that kind of happened to me in my life and stuff. The Fallen is a sort of weird one. It's not really meant to be political.
Okay.
but it's just kind of like based on like a story that was just kind of running around my head, and like a bunch of ideas just came together. In fact, like me and Kelly, we were offered the ability to go on tour with Auger, and we did like a mini UK tour where we basically just went to Bristol, Luton, London, and then Brighton. And like we didn't do all the dates with Auger. We did like Bristol and London, but
we padded it out with a couple of other bands, so that we actually went on tour.
Yeah, there was Bengal Ballandrones that we went on tour with as well. So we just needed a song. Basically, I came to Kelly after like a night and just said, I wrote this song. I've put it all together, just like a basic mix. What do you think?
It was like the fastest song ever.
Yeah,
Really?
we put the Fallen together in about probably 2 weeks. So
Okay.
like, the dirty mix, like that. Whenever something's called a dirty mix, it's basically mixed by me, and then it's sent off to somebody to master. So like these songs, they don't come out rushed, to say. They do actually go through a process, but like the Fallen just came out quick. And so the Fallen's it's not really meant to be political, but I guess it's kind of got them undertones, isn't it?
I think it's a sign really of the world now. You can look at the lyrics of that song and you can really identify with what you're going through and the world, because it's impacting you and you're thinking so much, and the themes that are in there, they align with it. And in a lot of the PR and in the inlay for the Ghost EP, there's some text that I wrote from effectively reading Paul's lyrics and talking to Paul about the songs, and sort of going, well, if you look at what we've done, if you look at these ideas and these stories you've written, Paul, they're actually talking about this whole thing of these things happening around you. You have to live with it. You have to deal with it. Like, you know, whether it's your job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's just how you feel, or whether it's the world around you, they're there, and you've got to live with them. And you can ignore them as much as you can, but you've still got to acknowledge the fact that, you know, sometimes it's hard. And that's kind of where it just sort of, and it was interesting because Paul had already decided like a year and a half ago that this EP was going to be called Ghosts. Okay. And that was the context for me looking at it, and it just, the story wrote itself from there. You know, it's not made up. It's what's in those songs, but it just came out from what was already written. It was kind of rather poetic, you know.
Yeah, I can at least with a lot of the artists that I follow, you know, I feel like political undertones and themes are just unconsciously slipping into a lot of the zeitgeist of, you know, at least a lot of the artists that I follow, and it is global. It's not just like the politics of one country. It doesn't seem like, it seems like most of the Western world and beyond.
Now we are bombarded with it, you know. There's no getting away with it, and it's another ghost hanging over you. You know, you can't turn your computer on in the morning, or even worse, you can't have your breakfast cereal with the TV on without hearing about what's happened in the Middle East right now, or etc. You can't escape it.
It probably has seeped into all of our subconsciousness, which is, I don't know. There's no escape, like you said. So you're talking about the EP a little bit. I really love the cover art. And Kelly, are you responsible for the visuals or
I am not. No.
Oh,
so
okay.
Right. So the story about the artwork. Okay.
Thank you, Eryk. Yeah.
So back when we released Reincarnate, in fact before then, we released a song called Static and Feeling, which was sort of our first single. And in Sheffield there is a mostly annual, come and do be a band or a video maker, come and be randomly squished together and make a video in 2 weeks, called 2 Weeks to Make It. And Paul has won it before, if I remember rightly, Paul.
Yeah,
his previous project.
I think I won Best Song in 2017 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Paul was like, I'm going to do this, and it costs like £50. So it was like, you know, like $60 or something to enter, which is a bargain for a music video. But you turn up, you get paired off with people, and it's complete luck. And we got a guy called Stephen Carley, who is a teacher and an artist. I think he's just retired from teaching, and he's mostly like a full-time artist. And he does like big form art where he does big things and sticks things on things, and then does slow motion videos with things on his heads and brooms and all this sort of stuff. It's all really mad and brilliant, worth looking at. And he'd not done a video before, but the guy who runs it was friends with him and said, you should really come and do something because I think you'd be good. Paul couldn't make it. I think he was working on that day. So I ended up meeting I ended up meeting Steve and Carly, who turned out to be a bit of an old goth, really, more into the electro goth style stuff. So he had to listen to the track and he was like, okay, I can do something here. And we went into his studio and over 2 weeks put together this video for Static and Feeling, which you can check out on YouTube and usual places. And it's this fab, physically created video of lots of pictures of us cut up, being set on fire, water, shredders, fans, all sorts of interesting stuff flying around. We loved it, and it won the popular vote, effectively coming second, but didn't win. Shame. Never mind. Almost there. But yeah, we basically formed this partnership with Stephen over that, and so we really liked the photos he took as part of that work. So we asked Stephen if he'd do some photos. So once we were at the point for getting Ghost ready, we went and had the whole bunch of photos done, and there was he did loads, but there was this particular series where he got his old camera out with some real film in. Took a bunch of photos of us, black and white, super close. And then he was like, right, I got those. I'm going to do an experimental set now, put a new film in, and took some more photos. And after each photo, opened the back of the camera, slipped the negative, put it back on, and took another photo. So he basically double exposed these photos with our faces on. And we ended up with a series of these photos with us double exposed. And we liked them. So we took those and the other set of photos and we gave them to another guy in Sheffield who did the reincarnate artwork, which was the fractal sort of spiral thing you can kind of see, and said, right, here you go. Here's some photos, making some art with it. And because we had bought a cheapo discounted package from the people who do our CDs that basically allowed us to have 5 pages on our artwork, to go on the EP, and we had 5 songs. We were like, you've got an opportunity here, guy, to make 5 pieces of art that represent the songs. So he went away and looked through all these photos, and then he started to ask for ideas for themes of the songs, and we came up with ideas for them. So Surviving That Living, that image you showed up before, if you look into the background of it, there is a cityscape. And it is Sheffield. You have to look kind of closely. And then on the inside, you've got one that represents Ghost of the Past, which is the sort of a slightly red-tinted one. You can see in the background of a smashed mobile phone. The Fallen has some knocked over chess pieces, which were part of the artwork from the Fallen. That sort of stuff, basically. So it was a really good, fun little package of lots of people, all Sheffield-based, all no AI, none of that nonsense. This is just us, working with real tools, real stuff, photos and things.
Yeah, and I love that you used some film in that too.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I love photography. I don't have the time to do it, so it's really good to have real photography as well.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky. You live. It sounds like you live in a nice area where you've got some real artists that you could just tap for this kind of stuff. Yeah. And the fact that you're into photography is yourself, you have that appreciation for it, so that's even better. No, that's great. Thank you for really doing a deep dive into the music video. Definitely highly recommend. And after watching this, if you haven't seen the Static and Feeling music video, it's just fun. You know what I mean? It's all black and white. You could see tangibly how each effect was made. And it's got this really nice, like, I don't know. It makes you want to make your own music videos. It's really clever how they messed around with water and shadows and lights and double exposures, double images, flipped images, things like that. And I just really, yeah. Plus black and white looks great. So let's see. You mentioned a little bit about a tour before. Do you have any upcoming shows at all, whether or not they're in the UK or beyond? And I guess direct this to Paul, I should say.
Well, we've got a show tomorrow with JDV which is really cool. We're also supporting Playdead and Hurtful on that show. We're looking forward to it. I think we're rehearsed, are we, Kelly?
Yeah, my fingers hurt.
Yeah.
That's usually a good sign.
Yeah.
We're going to be.
Yeah, we've got Goths in the Field coming up, and I think is it in Wales or somewhere?
No, it's Shrewsbury, which
is it Shrewsbury?
Near Wales, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure everyone watching this will know quite where that is, but
yeah.
And that's actually quite a cool festival. It's it's run by friends, for friends.
Oh.
And basically they pull together, they sell tickets to it and everything, but it's just self-funded. It's not like a corporate festival.
Oh, wow.
So it's loads of people we know from gigs and all that sort of stuff, all piling to some big field with a bunch of bands on and all camping out together. It's really good fun.
Oh, I love that.
We've also got a gig planned in November with Brides of the Black Room, who are a Swedish band. I think they're Swedish. And Promenade Cinema.
Yeah.
Which should be excellent. Should be a really good gig. And that's our first gig in Liverpool.
Okay. That's really cool. What is the furthest you've traveled for a show? Out of curiosity.
Probably Brighton, hasn't it?
Probably Brighton, yeah. We have not yet made it outside of the UK.
Okay.
Brighton is a long trip for us. For people in America, it's like you hop in your car and you do it every morning. But for us, that's a long way.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, I did drive. I didn't drive. I visited the UK. That's the only country inside of Europe that I visited, and did everything by train. And it was just like everything is so close. It's just like travel is easy, and public transit is easy, and the London Tube is like everything just works. And I was up in Scotland like overnight. It was great. So
we've not done Scotland yet. We'd like to go do Scotland at some point.
Yeah.
We've just been in a period of getting our head down on EP and not really thinking about getting gigs arranged and stuff. So we may be emerging from that. We'll see.
yeah, that would be good. Just hit the whole continent.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
We have a challenge in the whole Brexit thing, getting out of the UK into Europe appropriately.
Yes.
And also just finding contacts and things to do that. But if anyone's watching this and wants to take us to the continent, just drop us a line because we'll be up for it.
Yeah. Come out here for sure. Just make sure you get all the visa issues and everything.
Hey,
All of that crap in order first, which I don't know. You might have better luck in Europe than in the US. I don't know. But I wouldn't know. Yeah. I wouldn't know. So yeah. Actually, talking more about England. So it sounds like the scene in Sheffield is pretty awesome. It sounds like you have a lot of artists there. Is there much of a goth industrial scene in Sheffield?
We've got I'd probably say two that kind of stand out. So the obvious one is Resistance Fest. Right. That's been going for many years. I actually saw Celldweller at it in 2013. I think it's his only UK show to date. But that's had a smattering of bands and goth bands that have come through from Europe and America and all over the world. And then the next one might be a little bit obscure, but it's run by a guy called Derek, and his festival is called In the Black Midwinter.
Okay.
And that's a sort of a goth orientated festival, and it's we played it a few times, and we're always welcome there with open arms, and Derek's just an amazing host, and all the people that are there are just really friendly, and it's just really nice sort of community,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you played Resistance or only attended as fans?
We have not played Resistance yet.
Okay.
No, it's on the list. I mean,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah. It might and it might not. The thing about it is that I feel for Liam because he's got such a massive list of bands that he's got to get on, and there's I went to the I only went for the day, so I went on Sunday of the last Resistance Fest because Solar Fake was playing, and there's just so many bands. There's so much to do in terms of the tech team. They have to have everything prepared, and run out cables and mics and make sure everything's good, and and then the everybody has to make sure that they're in constant communication, and that things are met, and, so like it's not happened yet, but we're hoping it'll happen sometime soon. If not next year, the year after. So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
There's another big sort of electronic music, goth music festival in the UK, just over the other side of the Pennines from us in Manchester, called Infest.
Yep.
And we are playing the unofficial warm-up party. It's kind of official, but it's not really part of the Infest festival.
Yes. Yes.
So kind of in a way, we will be opening Infest unofficially, which is kind of cool. But
that is cool.
Playing Infest or Resistance would be great.
Yeah.
And from where we're standing, we're sat here having released an EP, one EP, well, two as of this month. The bands that play in there have, they've got more of a catalogue going. So it might come. We will see.
Yeah. You're more in newer up and coming bands, so that makes sense. Yeah. I think so Infest, if I was going to come out and do a festival, it would probably be that one, just because the time of year works out better with my own schedule. Yeah, August, summer. I believe Matt Hart was he played the unofficial pre-party last year. I feel like. Yeah. So we're big Matt Hart fans here.
Yeah, shout out to Matt. We love you.
We love him. And I was bummed out because I was in the area. I came out to London, Edinburgh, and Glasgow, around Fringe, for that. So I was in the vicinity, but I couldn't pop off for Infest. I couldn't squeeze it in, and it was I can't remember if it was just happened or it was right as I was leaving. I was so bummed out. So I have to go back and try to coordinate it around a proper festival. So
for sure.
If we get offered a slot, we'll let you know so you can make your arrangements.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that.
This next question is a little bit off the wall. Describe the most interesting venue bathroom that you visited, and you can interpret interesting however you want.
You're gonna have to go first, Kelly.
You're oh no.
Oh, I mean, really? they're never nice. They're really never nice.
I mean, sometimes they can be. Maybe, I don't know. It could be a pretty bathroom. It could be something that's oh wow.
Yeah, that would make it interesting if
there's so many stickers. I don't know.
I mean, the backstage area of Corporation where we'll be tomorrow is actually fab, because what they've done there, they've quite recently redone it, but because Corporation has these massive billboard posters where they list all the bands and the support acts on them, so it's not just a list of the headliner, it's the little support acts as well. And those obviously they have to recycle them every month or two because all those bands have gone through, so they've got loads of them, so they've started decorating the back end areas and the bathrooms with them, so you can be in there and be like, oh look, that's my band there, because you happen to support someone much bigger than you, and you're there on the wall, and you can wander through the corridor to there. And I certainly know Paul can walk through there and see his name in about 4 or 5 different places on those walls.
Oh, that's awesome.
One place, but not 4 or 5. But there's definitely Corporation's bathrooms probably the most interesting.
Legendary.
Mostly because of what Kelly just said, with all the band names, they're staying back absolutely years. So and they've got it pretty much in the corridor that goes to the main stage. So as you're going through the main stage, I was just looking at what's this? And it's kind of, I can't remember who it was, but it was a lot. That's it. It was there was a poster and it had Fader Head and Aesthetic Perfection on the same bill. Just looking at that, thinking that must have been a good gig. Wow. It's just it's you go into the bathroom and then you go down this corridor. It is literally memory lane of words to that effect.
And even better, if you're the headline artist going out from the backstage to go on the stage, you're walking down this corridor of all these other acts that have gone before you. It's almost symbolic. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Love that. That's nice. Yeah, some cool green rooms are like that too, where people will put their stickers up, or they'll just write their logo, right on the walls.
Yeah.
Wharf Chambers in Leeds is a cooperative sort of space, and you have to be a member to go. But we've played loads of gigs there. That bathroom is really tiny, and it's just off the main room, and it's a shared bathroom, and it's absolutely covered with trans supporting pictures and
cool.
links and stuff. It's brilliant. You can go in there and feel like happy about people being good to each other. And that's a good bathroom. That one.
Bathroom of positive messages.
Definitely a positive bathroom. Yeah.
That sounds like somewhere I want to pee.
Yeah, exactly.
So, plug your socials and streaming. Like, where can people find you and find your music and everything?
We are on Facebook. I think we're called Iamimperfect Band. I don't think it's like. Is it BND or is it BAND?
I think it's BAND.
Yeah. We on our socials we do have a link tree, and that basically has all our gigs on there and like all our socials and stuff. So it's a link tree. Iamimperfect, all one word, lowercase. We are on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. I think we were on TikTok at one point. I think we're still there, but I haven't really done anything with it. I think that
I've never logged into TikTok.
The goal with
it's been a
TikTok,
while. Yeah,
we'd upload our music there, and people would do some dances, but we've had nothing. So that's an instant marketing fail on our. Yeah, but we're on YouTube as well, SoundCloud, and we're on Discord as well. Funnily enough, on our Discord, our Discord's on our Facebook page. You wouldn't find it unless you were looking for it, but it's actually in our links. And if you go to the link, you can actually just have conversations with us if you want, because we're on there. We usually post gigs before we post them to social media, but we've also got little cool stuff on there. One of the things is a freebie that we did, which is a cover of Cry Little Sister. That's actually on there, and it's free download, and people can download it and get a cover song essentially.
That's awesome. Okay, that's a little I don't know. That's like reason to join. You know what I mean? Just get this cover.
Yeah, we wanted it to be an actual more of a community rather than just your socials. And it's there's not loads of people in there. It's just a nice little chatty place. But if people want to come and hassle us, feel free.
and
be mean and we'll beat you though.
I think the fun thing as well is that we did go down the route of what if we got a patron and stuff, and I thought well, if we're going to do a patron, then we're going to have to add to it monthly, and are we actually going to have that kind of schedule? Whereas a Discord is just kind of you just get to meet and hang out, and essentially you just you type in things what you photos, stuff people have shared. Some people have shared stuff they've gone to the gym and worked out. Others have posted photos where they've been on holiday and stuff like that. So it's it's kind of shared community, and it basically means more having that than just asking people for money for patronship. And it works. It's cool.
We had someone in there tell everyone that they were off to a gig the other day that Palindrones are playing on, who we toured with and we're good friends with. And so we were go say hi to Palindrones for us. And they went and said hi to Palindrones, and then told them it happened. And it's almost like a sort of sending messages by proxy. It was kind of fun.
That's so cool. That's cool. And then hopefully they took a photo. You take a picture with the band, and then you post it in the Discord. And
that's the idea.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's cool.
All right, and I guess the last thing we've got here to wrap it up is what message do you have for anyone who watches or listens to this, since now we're also an audio podcast? Yeah,
we just announced and just for people watching this, you can listen to us now. Apple, Spotify, I use Overcast. So we'll take this and this is the audio only. It works for the most part. Yeah. So yeah. So now we have to mention listeners. But yeah. I guess we'll start with Paul, maybe. you know, like I guess just message to and this could be anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could be a message to your fans, it could be message to somebody who's just discovering your music.
Hate politics, love music. It's the only religion you need. I'm paraphrasing, quoting from Lemmy of Motorhead. That's what I said
Oh,
in
there
the
we go.
So,
Nice.
like, yeah, music's amazing. Listen to lots of music, lots of positive messages in music. A band with lots of positive messages. One of my favorites, Killswitch Engage. They're like super cool. They've got like a lot of good messages in there, so like a lot of support as well. Yeah, so yeah. Hate politics, love music. That's all I've got.
I like it. That's a good message.
I think I'd say if you're listening to this, go find a local band that's playing in your area, go listen to them, and then follow up and tell them what you thought. Like, as a small band, people don't tell you how you were, you know, and just going out and letting them know that someone heard them, someone liked them, some feedback or whatever, tell your friends, etc. is great for a small band, because that's how you get traction. Yeah. We need all of us little bands need people to share us, so that we don't have to pay money into the likes of Facebook for them to not share our stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
or Spotify.
You know, if you've got a band that you like, and a little bands, tell your friends, share them, get them to listen to them, and try and get to see them if you can.
Yeah. Live
Can I,
shows.
well, like support local venues and stuff like that. In Sheffield at the moment, we recently lost the Lead Mill, which is like one of our premier kind of like venues in Sheffield. And like I think it's I don't want to say it's only a matter of time, but I think it's really important that we're like, you know, out there on the scene and like supporting each other in bands, but we're also supporting our venues as well.
Yeah.
Like they are like the backbone of like the industry.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw a piece of positive news that I think other countries need to mirror is Germany just reclassified nightclubs as like art venues, much like museums and galleries, things like that. So they're protected. They have more protections.
Amazing.
You know, under whatever their arts clause is. I know like they could probably be I do need to look more into it, but they would be qualified for more funding, you know, arts directed funding. And I feel like local venues and nightclubs which do host a lot of bands as well, not just dance nights, it would be hugely transformational in the US and the UK if and other countries as well if they had a little bit more security. I mean, like you know, like the dive bars that I really like, you know, are the ones that are hosting these small local bands, and I prefer small local bands just because, you know, I don't have a lot of money. You know, $20 or $15 for a show where you see like 3 tiny bands and each one is like incredible, but you just didn't know about them. You know, maybe you knew the headliner, but you didn't know 2 of the openers. I mean, those are you know, those are the nights that like, you know, that make my weekend. And then they're always really approachable. People, you know, these small artists are usually hanging out by my merch table, and you know, they're signing their CDs and taking selfies and everything. Like, I think,
that's definitely the time to go say hi in that scenario, because that's when they want to talk to you.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm always bringing cash, and I'm like, look, you know, if you got a shirt, I'm going to buy a shirt. You got a CD, I'll buy the CD, but then I'll also try to get it digitally on Bandcamp. You know, like this is I'm lucky in that I don't have too many expenses, so I just like throw them at these bands. You know,
and it's a good point. Like certainly in the UK, those sort of gigs in those scenarios, probably most of the people involved are losing money on it, and they're doing it because they want to do it.
Yeah,
you know? And it's a really hard situation for those venues, because they have a building to keep going and people to pay, whereas bands kind of suck it up because they want to do it, and they're doing it as a hobby almost, you know. So being there, paying, buying merch, just being supportive means the world to bands and venues as well.
Yeah, I would imagine a lot of bands. I don't know too many artists that do this full time. A lot of them have like 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
even some artists that you wouldn't think that like they seem successful in the scene, but like no, their 9 to 5s are like
I think
Yeah.
it was architects who are pretty big. There was
Mhm.
an article by one of the members from Architects basically saying that he didn't have other jobs, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing right now, and they're massive.
Mm,
You know,
yeah. Well, thank you. Those are all good messages. I really appreciate that. And yeah, thank you again for setting aside the time. I know it's pretty late in the evening. But I hope I get back out to your area, northern England. Is that right? It's kind of near
that's right. Yep.
the Scottish border.
No, not that far. Not that far.
Not that far. Okay, not that far north. All right, good. Because I also want to get back to Glasgow at some point too. So that's a cool city. But I want to visit Sheffield, Manchester, all of those cool places.
It's pretty noticeable the more north you go, because it starts going like whiskey shop, whiskey shop, whiskey shop, whiskey shop.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you even go to the services and there's like a whiskey shop in the services, and like
And you know you're in the Scottish borders.
we have great.
Yeah. And I notice the further north I get, like the less I can understand. the accents get crazy, but that's north of Edinburgh and everything. Like
Yeah.
the Highlands. I'm just like, oh man, I don't. Inverness, forget it. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll come back. I'll come back and then I'll hit you guys up and see if there's a show going on while I'm up there. So that would be awesome.
For sure.
Or just come me up for a drink. Yeah.
Or just a drink. Yeah. I'll have a pint. Yeah. That'd be cool. I do love a good cider. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Take it easy.
Thank you.
I'm Mr. Agitator of V is for Villains, and you are watching Moonburns Productions.